Yesterday, I swallowed accidentally some food coloring, and I went to see the doctor. He says I'm okay, but I feel like I've died a little inside. Hi, and welcome to Not the Fuck Gaming
Oh,
Podcast, the podcast where we talk about games, and sometimes we don't say fuck. I am William Hououin, and I'm with.
Gruebitten.
And today we have a recurring guest. Who is?
Brad Murasaki. That's my new nom de plume.
Oh, this sounds pretty good. Happy to have you back, Brad. We're gonna talk about what you've been doing lately, but first, I want to read the comment we got on last episode, and it's from not that long ago, so we should remember what we talked about. It's from Zachariah from Old Man Gaming. Go look at his channel. I'm gonna put a link in the description as usual. Hello, guys. Thanks as usual for reading my comments. Kinseed is great, but it is not on the consoles, which sucks because Gru would love it. I don't know if you remember or if you've seen some Kinseed video. It's kind of Stardew Valley, but it's not. Have you ever heard of Kinseed, Brad?
I have not, but I don't really follow a lot of like lower profile or indie titles. I probably should, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. To each their own, but looks pretty good. And yes, I think Gru would be a great public for that title because he kind of likes farming stuff.
Yeah, I would love to try it out.
And then he says, I will never play with a mouse and a keyboard. Most games on the PC now have controller options, which is great. I love Gru's reaction to roguelites. You have to start over from the beginning.
Oh, y'all are crazy.
That was funny.
Like, no, just no, not.
But oftentimes those games takes a long time because you don't know what you're doing. But once you do, I've beat Scorchbringer on stream under 30 minutes. I think it's not. Once you know what you're doing, it's not that bad to start from the beginning. Indie games are huge. I think something crazy in the thousands is the average now of games that release a year, which is something. Yeah, you don't have enough of a lifetime to play all the games that exist, which is kind of frightening. You have to pick and choose.
Oh, that's terrible.
I like good building mechanics. What really gets me out of bed is procedural generation in games. I just think that stuff is some cook. Is that some way of saying I don't know?
I don't know. I think it's maybe a slang that's too young for me as well.
Or well, actually, Zach is kind of our age.
I'm not even sure what he said.
Okay. Well, Zach, please give me some more input on that. That stuff is some cook. Does it means like it's lit or something like that? Great show, guys. Looking forward to the next one. Your Discord, here I come. Yeah, Zach just joined the Discord last week. I was quite happy about that. I don't promote the Discord enough. Ishan, my Discord mod, is always mad at me for not plugging the Discord enough. So anyway, thanks, Zach, for your comment. Really appreciate it. Love reading them. So, what have you been doing lately, Brad and Gru? Whichever of you wants to go first.
Let's let Brad go first.
Oh, you want me to go first? Well, I'm still kind of chugging away at Fallout 76. I was talking to Gru the other day actually, and saying that because I finished most of the main storyline stuff, these days I mostly just log in to do my dailies and check the atomic shop. For me, it's almost kind of a life sim. I mean, you got to manage your hunger and thirst, which is super easy if you've got generators in your camp. And otherwise, I just like building my camp up. I've got a companion that's basically this preteen girl that by day she's just an amnesiac, but by night she thinks she's a superhero from the comics. Absolutely adorable. So
this
I
is
just
kind
make sure
of funny.
There's plenty. yeah, there's just plenty of stuff in the house for her to do. I've got plenty of food and drink if she wants to eat while I'm out running around, shooting super mutants or whatever. But I've also been plugging away at Persona 3 Portable, which finally got ported to modern generation consoles. And really, if you haven't played any of the Persona series, start with 3, then go to 4, and then go to 5, because you get to see the progression. I'm almost done with P3. I need to finish up a lot of the background mechanic stuff. Finish the Persona Compendium and beat the Reaper and things like that, and then I can go ahead and try to finish the game.
Have you played the FMC route, or just
I
the
did a
main
long
guy?
time ago. No. I played it a long time ago on. I want to say I think I played it on the PSP, but I had the TV adapter. And a few years ago, I played it again using her as the new game plus, but played as the canon protagonist.
Yeah.
And I had a good time with that. Of course, almost every time I play Persona 3, it's ported to a new system. I got to start over.
Sure.
Can I just
I've actually got a post about that. So.
Yes,
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
interject.
When you said you have a companion, you meant more like a family companion, not a romantic companion, because you say you have a companion.
Well, I mean, you've got all sorts of companions in Fallout 76.
Yeah, but the preteen girl's not a romantic one, right?
Well, no. There's like a few of them that are just kind of native to the game. Right.
Clarify that.
Like,
that's not.
There's one she's a cook. There's another one who's an engineer. There's another who's a super mutant who sells you meat. There's another guy recently who's a ghoul. He survived the blast and is effectively immortal. Who used to be an executive at Nuka-Cola. I have him. I just haven't put him in any of my camps. There's another ghoul who thinks he's an alien and rides on one of those rocket rides that used to be outside of grocery stores. You put in a coin and it kind of rides you for a while. He thinks that's his rocket ship. But yeah, Daphne's just she's just a girl. You build a toy box and that puts her in your camp for a while. She just wanders around and says funny things.
It might sound weird, but I'm so happy to hear that someone is enjoying Fallout 76.
I've got a post about it. I call it, I waited until Fallout 76 stopped being a bad game. My gaming blog, man. I do have a handful of posts up there.
Yeah, it's called The Way I Game. It's on WordPress. I'm looking at it right now.
Yep, thewayigame.wordpress.com.
And yeah, tons of great articles. The last I've read was, I think, was Memento Mori, so it's been a while. It's been almost a month. Well, it's been a month. There's quite a few more posts. So I'm going to put the link in the description to your gaming blog and your Japan blog, and you also have a YouTube channel.
I do, and I update. I put a new video up every day, and I've actually started putting shorts up. And so shorts go up pretty much whenever I just happen to have one that's worthwhile. I've found a few, and I've been trying to put them up there because I like to think they're interesting. They may not be, but if they're not, they're under a minute. So how bad can they be?
Yes, true. I've been watching not all of what you're putting out, but I really enjoyed Brad's taking a walk in the neighborhood or in a park on a street somewhere in Japan. I really love watching those. And the other day it was incredibly cool because Brad stumbled upon a J-pop band. Like, where was it? Was it like on a subway or
by a food truck?
Well, yeah, by a food truck, but also outside kind of my local train station. There's a talent. There's like a talent school that's in my area. Actually, they've got two of them. They opened up a second one called Tri Crew Entertainment (TCE), and apparently this little idol group is kind of a creation of Tri Crew Entertainment. The name of the group was Rogue, and when they gave me their Instagram, the Instagram handle was actually Rogue_TCE, and I was like, yeah. These guys are local. They're very local.
Yeah, it was very cool to watch. Yeah, and I really like when you're showing how it looks like to just walk there. I love Japan. Well, I love video games.
See,
so.
I would do more of those, but it's just been cold enough lately that it's just not a whole lot of fun to walk
I
an
bet.
extended period of time.
Yeah.
Once the weather warms up, trust me, I've got a couple of places that I'm meaning to walk. Plus, during Golden Week, I always go to Nagoya, and so I'll definitely do a couple of videos walking around parts of Nagoya that I like.
Oh, that's cool. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Your favorite food video you made? I mean, my favorite food video that I've watched you doing is the one that it was that sushi shop where you don't have to interact with any human beings to get your food, and it was fantastic. Yeah, I want that.
Yeah, hamazushi is not only does it taste good, but it's real cheap. It's extremely affordable to eat there.
Yeah,
I like the food videos a lot because, well, I love food, and so once again, Hououin, we have opposite preferences.
yeah. Yes, that's true. We don't like the same games, and we don't like the same type of videos, and yet, we're doing a podcast together. It's pretty cool because our listener have definitely a wide range of opinions on stuff. So Gru, what have you been playing since last time we spoke?
What have I been playing? Some more Apple Arcade games. Creeks by Amanita Design. It's where you play a little guy and your house like starts falling apart and you go down and you have to jump gaps and do these timing things, and I didn't play it for very long. It's not my thing.
It's in side-scroller format. Yeah, right? It's like 2D side-scroller.
Yeah, the puzzles were cute, but too much timing stuff. I'm not good at timing, so
I've tried it, and I'm with you. I didn't stuck with it.
I played more of the Pathless, which we've talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, love that game. There's some timing in it, but it's not. It's kind of forgiving. There's only one part so far. Oh no, two parts that it was I really struggle with. But yeah, the movement, the aesthetic, the music, the story, it's all just chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's not a game about combat difficulty. When I've played it, it made me think of Gris, that side-scroller, very emotional thing of a game. It's more about just wandering around with the music and how it looks, and it's not that much about the gameplay.
It is kind of depressing though. So yeah, if you're depressed, definitely don't play it. It'll just depress you further. It's very sad.
Honestly, if you're looking for, and I don't know if it's on Apple Arcade or not, but if you're looking for a good game that's, it's got some combat, but it's definitely got a good story and good music, you might enjoy Bastion.
Bastion, yeah, it's what you said from Supergiant Games. Yeah, this is one of my top 10 games of all time. Yeah,
it seems I'm checking the internet here. It seems to be on the App Store. I actually like the game well enough that I bought. I bought a couple of the songs from the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, there's even vocal in those sounds.
Yeah, no, build that wall. Build that wall is an excellent game, and there's even a YouTube video of the composer and the woman that sings the female vocals doing "Build That Wall" just like in like a living room somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen that video. I love Bastion. I've watched a lot of. I've bought the game twice. I have it both on my PS4 and on my phone. I love Bastion. The narrator in this game really steals the show, but so is the music and the visual and even the gameplay. If you activate all the totems, the game gets really hard. It can be as easy or as challenging as you want it to be. So
Well, and unfortunately, Transistor was not multi-platform, so I had to wait until I got a PS4 in order to play that, and that was also a really good game. I just liked that there was a mechanic where you could stand still and your character would basically sing along with the soundtrack. That was unnecessary but awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I know about Transistor too, and of course Hades. What
Hades
a
I
great!
haven't played. I'm not a roguelike guy. I hate to say it, but I'm not. And so Hades, I haven't gotten the Hades bug yet.
I've played it a bit. I will admit I didn't stick with it, but I was in my during when the game came out and I've bought it. I was in my anti-roguelite phase, but I've been open to it more lately. I've been playing a lot of Scourgebringer, which is a roguelite, and it's incredibly fast-paced to a point where when I play other games now, I feel they're all too slow. It really it messed me up. I've played 50 hours of this in the past 2 weeks, which is probably the most gaming time I had in a very long time. I'm kind of
you'd have to
Some
hang
call
me
that
by my
trampoline.
toenails to get me to play a roguelike.
yeah. Oh, it's not for everyone. I mean, and no games are for everyone. I made a video about that phrase, that sentence that is completely useless. No games are for everyone, but certainly roguelite needs to have a certain mindset to get into them.
Well, another of notable one that I've been playing on Apple Arcade is Fantasian by
Oh
Mistwalker.
yes! Oh God, yes!
Yeah, the
Yeah.
graphics are just gorgeous. The music
Actually,
is nice.
I don't know if you know, but they're all like real sets that they took pictures of.
You know,
It's like
I wondered
diorama
about
things.
that.
Yeah,
It looked
it's
very the
like real. It's
textures
just
and
pictures of stuff they made.
yeah, the textures were so really very real that I really wondered about that. But yeah, the story has been good. I'm not that far into it yet.
Oh, it's really, really good. Trust me
This
on that. I've played it.
yeah.
It's good. It's
I
really
made
good.
it to the Royal Capitol, but and through the Colosseum part, but the story has been good, the gameplay has been good, the graphics are beautiful. The one thing that really, really has just irked me on it is the sexism. There was this one cutscene where you had to watch for like 5 minutes of these two teeny bopper girls arguing over the teenage teeny bopper guy being character. And you're just like, oh, come on. This is so boring. Do I really need to sit through this? Who wants to watch that? You have such a good story. Why are you keep jerking me away from the really good story that I'm trying to progress on and inserting all this stupid nonsense about, immature, jealous, stupid girls squabbling over some dude? Like, just
I have one answer. I have a one-word
just
answer
stop
because we were
it.
discussing this. We were discussing this the other day. I have a one-word answer for you. Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm incredibly ready.
Capital T tropes.
Yeah, yes, true.
Well,
we
I would
need.
say that's one that needs to be dropped because do you guys find that interesting? Because I find it just jarring and boring as anything.
I'll admit, seems it didn't hit me as hard as you because I can't remember that at all. I mean, it's been a year since I've played that, so but I know
found
what
it
you mean.
super annoying. Oh, it was annoying. I was just like, God.
So I think for me, I've just kind of gotten used to it. It's just kind of it's a trope, and I've just kind of gotten used to it. It's not that I necessarily like it. It's just I accept it as part of the pop culture.
Yeah. So basically, it's just something that you guys just sit through, and again, completely unnecessary and of course, it's going to be a major turnoff, I guess, to females like me. Like, really?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you in a little. I'm gonna let you in a little secret there, Gru. If it's a kind of a turnoff because you're a woman, then you're probably not the primary demographic.
Well, I
Well,
think they're
yes, but
missing a huge demographic here because there's a lot of women who like to play video games.
yeah, and seems
I know.
apart from that, you enjoy the game a lot, so the game
And
is speaking to you. But that,
if
you know,
if it's not really appealing to your main demographic, and I don't see that it's appealing to a lot of guys, because even if they're, say, their main demographic is 13-year-old boys, okay, I happen to know very well a 13-year-old boy because my kid was 13 at one point in time, and her best friend was a 13-year-old boy. And you know what he did not like to talk about? Little girls squabbling over boys. He was completely uninterested in that. He'd like to talk about pigeons and games. Okay, that was his big.
Pigeons and games.
Yeah, he liked to talk about Minecraft. He liked to talk about pigeons. He would have been completely uninterested in that.
yeah.
So I
I guess
think
I
I'm
don't know because
used to the tropes. I've watched so many animes. I think I'm kind of numb to it now. Honestly, I think that's what it is.
I mean there are like okay, if you want to, for example, an anime where it technically counts as a harem anime, and the girls are all basically gaga over the main character who's a guy. However, it's extremely sweet. Is Tenshi no Shippo, or what they called Angel Tales in the West.
That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is 10 minutes of girls squabbling over the guy. It's what?
It's not 10 minutes in that show, but the thing is, the reason that they all have a thing for him is that they were all former pets of his that died. The poor guy has really bad luck throughout his life, and so all of these pets have died, and then at one point they kind of come back as young girls. I think ages like 9 through 14, I believe it is, because they're all entirely different ages. But they're all attracted to him in different ways. The older girls want to marry him. The younger girls just want to play. They just want him to pay attention to them and go out and play games and stuff.
Yeah, 14 is still too young.
It's well, I mean, it's still okay, it's a really
let's not talk about this.
Yes, but I'm saying it's an adorable series. It's just super cute to watch.
Well, if they didn't have 14-year-old girls wanting to marry guys, yeah, it would be adorable.
Well, it's not. I mean, he's not going. Not adorable. He's not like, yeah, baby. His whole thing is not, yes, let's marry. His whole thing is like, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go do this thing over here. That my life.
Literal former pet girls are not adorable. That's not funny.
All right.
You'd have to watch the series.
No, that's not. There's nothing adorable or funny about that. If you're a woman.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Back to Apple Arcade. Do you still have your?
This might be something to cut out of the podcast.
I'm not.
Actually, hey, this is.
I'm not editing. I'm not editing audio anymore. So no. I think it's a relevant discussion to have. But,
it is. It's actually it is, and we could disagree about things. That's fine.
I can't say I completely disagree. I just think I'm. I don't know. I think I'm kind of just used to it or something. But back to Apple Arcade. Do you still have your subscription, Gru? Is it still active?
I do. It's gonna run out soon. Now I have to check.
Okay,
and make
so
sure I cancel before it does.
A last thing to do before it's running out. This week, actually, I think it was yesterday. There's a game I've played before that was made available through Apple Arcade, and it's Lifeline.
Oh yeah, I
You
actually
have to
bought that
check that.
years ago.
Oh, okay.
I have
Because
the
I was saying,
whole series, every single one.
okay, those. Well, we can still plug them for people who could be interested. It's games. It's like text-based game where
Mm-hmm.
you get some messages on your phone through the app, and the first one, the one that is on Apple Arcade right now, but also on regular iOS and Android stuff, you have to save Taylor. So Taylor is stuck on I think it's on a ship, on a spaceship, and
It's crashed on a moon, I think.
Oh yeah, okay. It's crashed. It's been years. It's crashed on a planet, and once you install the app, you get a notification on your phone, and it say, "Hey, somebody there," and then you replied, and then he will speak to you, and you will. It's like choose your own adventure type of game, but it's through like text messages. It's really really nice.
It is cool, and it's text only, which means that you can even play it on an Apple Watch.
Yeah, true.
You don't have to have a
Wait, what?
fancy, powerful device for it. You can run it on
What's the name of this
anything.
game again?
Lifeline.
It's called Lifeline. I'm gonna put a screenshot in our little podcast chat just so you
They
can
have
see
a
how it looks like.
whole series of them, and they're not all
Yeah,
that
there's many.
popular.
You mentioned Lifeline, and I just remember the PlayStation 2 game, the English version of the Japanese game Operator's Side, where rather than having direct control of the game, you used a headset to direct the main character, to direct the character in the game to shoot or operate switches and all that.
Interesting concept.
Yeah, it was kind of early voice command stuff, so it was a little clunky. And I think the Japanese version was probably a little better because they actually used a notable voice actress to voice the main character. Because the character you're directing was like a waitress on this ship. It was a spaceship, but she wasn't like a commando. She's just a waitress who managed to kind of get stuck.
Huh.
Never heard of that.
I played it. I'm pretty sure I beat it, although it's been so long I couldn't even tell you how the game ended.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, my Lifeline plug is made. Didn't know you've played. I've played many of them too. They're not all equals. There's some I didn't enjoy that much.
Yeah, some of
But
them are better than others. The first one is one of the best.
Yeah, the first one is one of the best. And the latest one, I still have it on my phone, but I haven't played it really. I guess I was not in the mood for that. I'm just looking at it's Beside You in Time. That it's called Lifeline Beside You in Time.
I think that's the last one in the series.
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the last one. Bought it, but like many of the games I've been buying, I haven't played it. Oh, it is what it is. But yeah. So, have you been playing anything else? Any
Yes.
of you?
There's two more on Apple Arcade that I played. Outlanders by Pomelo Games, which is a sim.
Oh yeah, it's the building city, right? Building camps.
A village, yeah.
Yeah.
You build little farms and little lumber camps. You chop down trees to get wood and then process them through your sawmill to build your houses. And it's not it's not like an open world sim though. They do have a sandbox mode, but it's not a full sandbox mode, which really disappointed me. You get little scenarios and you get a different leader, and I have a feeling that each leader has different, it affects the there's hidden effects behind each leader, and then you have goals in each scenario, like build 3 farms within 60 days. I'm just making something up here.
Yeah, but I understand what you mean.
That's not sandbox. That's mission based.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
If
there's
they're
two
calling
modes.
it,
No, they're not
I'm
calling
saying if
that
they're calling it
sandbox.
sandbox, then it's a misnomer if they're calling it
No, no,
sandbox. 'Cause
no, no, no. They're not calling that sandbox. There's two modes to the game. Two
Oh.
modes. Yeah, that one is called scenarios, I think. And then there is a
Okay.
sandbox mode too, which I tried out the sandbox mode very briefly and was disappointed because I was wanting a big open world with all the different buildings available, and you don't get that. You still have to choose a leader, and I'm not real familiar with all the leaders because I've only gotten to level 8 so far in the missions. And again, it doesn't really tell you what hidden effects each leader has, although there is flavor text that you can kind of guess based on that whether the leader influences happiness or birth rate or whatever. But and you still get really tiny little areas to build in, and when you choose your leader, you get a limited amount of things to build. That each leader has different things that are unlocked for them. So I don't know if I didn't look through all the leaders. Maybe one of them has all the things unlocked, but I didn't see one that had all the things unlocked, and I was like really bummed out about that.
Yeah. Sounds disappointing.
Yeah, the scenarios were really fun though. I did really enjoy the little scenarios. So if you like doing the scenarios, then totally worth it.
Yeah. The game is not bad. Just the sandbox mode is
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah.
But the game is not bad.
Yeah, the game itself is good.
Yeah. I tried it a long time ago. Well, not that long, but wasn't too much my thing. You know me, and
Yeah.
building sim stuff is not exactly my type of game. But yeah, it seems to be a competent one in that type of game.
You guys in your Apple games.
And the last game I played on Apple Arcade was My Little Pony main merge.
How was it? It's like a Candy Crush, right? I mean, a match 3 thing.
It's a matching game, but you only match 2 things, and then they merge into something else, and then you match those merged things with each other, and they merge into something else, and you match those merged things with each other. So it's more of an exponential building type thing by using matching. But then you have on the left side a little list of ponies who have items they're asking for. So you have to merge things until you get the things they're asking for. And then you hit fulfill order or whatever the thing is, and you get points. Oh gosh, I forget what they're called. And then you can go back to your story mode. It has a really, really simplistic, dumb story, which I'm actually a fan of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series because my kid watched that when she was young, and that was one of the very few kids cartoons that I enjoyed watching with her. It was very well done.
Yeah, I know Zach will comment on it because his daughter made him choose which favorite little pony he have. Like he needed to choose one.
Fluttershy, mine.
I don't. He will comment, I'm sure. I don't remember which one was his favorite. On my
daughter
end,
made
I had
me choose too.
yeah. Here in my house, My Little Pony didn't really stuck with my kids. My kids were more a Paw Patrol type of kids, and so I had to choose which Paw Patrol member was my favorite.
So, which Paw Patrol member is your favorite?
I know I think it's Marshall, the fire, because in French it's Marcus, so it's not the same name. All the names changes. I think it's Marshall, the fire truck puppy is my favorite.
So why do you like him?
It's kind of a shame too. That's a shame that they changed the name because, he's a fire dog. His name is Marshall. He's a fire marshal, which is what you would call a high-ranking member of the fire department.
Oh, I didn't know about that. It's like sky.
Oh.
In French, it's Stella. See? It can mess you up when you want to talk Paw Patrol with English people when you're French.
They should just leave the names the same.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Stella doesn't mean anything really. It's Sky. Stella is definitely not a translation of Sky.
Not only
So-
that,
Yeah, it's
but
more
it's
more astronomical.
educational. I mean, the kids learn these names and they learn what they mean in other languages. I have things like that with I'm blanking now. I was like going to pull out an example and I can't think of one, of course. But Japanese. A Japanese name like Momo means peach. And the only reason I know that is because I have a friend who named her cat Momo.
I didn't know that.
Oh
I don't
man,
know a lot of Japanese words.
there are games that, like for example, Ni no Kuni, the first Ni no Kuni, the English translation, they renamed a lot of the characters, but the problem is a lot of the characters had Western names. They were effectively American names, and they renamed them to other American names. I'm like, why the hell would you do that? Just
That's so
leave the
dumb.
names as is. Yeah, I mean, I actually, again, not to plug my gaming blog, but I did make a post about the dangers of over localization, and that's one example that I used.
Oh god, that's I mean, names are names. You don't have to translate those.
Yep,
Oh,
completely agree.
Pokemon is seriously guilty of doing a lot of that. A lot of the names in Pokemon, between the Japanese and the English names, the Western names,
Mhm.
they make weird, significant changes, and I've never quite understood why. Because a lot of those names are kind of nonsense anyway. They're just even the main characters, like of the old Pokemon series, the main characters, Ash and Misty.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, the real characters were Satoshi and Kasumi. And I thought, okay, if kids can memorize like hundreds of names that are effectively nonsense words, I'm pretty
Pikachu?
sure they could memorize a couple of Japanese kids' names, Come on.
Yeah.
Never knew that. It's all new to me. This is pretty cool. Good Pokemon lore for any fans of Pokemon.
Well, I mean, if you want to go back to the 60s, the old TV show Speed Racer underwent significant name changes.
Speed
I mean,
Racer, wasn't that a French cartoon?
No, man,
What?
that was a Japanese game. That was a Japanese
Oh,
cartoon. That was, yep. The original name was
thinking of the
Maha Go Go
one-
Go.
I'm thinking of the one with the detective. There was a French cartoon that was popular that was
Yeah, no, I'm not. No. I'm talking about Speed Racer. Is this guy who has a car with the jacks can let him jump over stuff, and he's always in races. And there's crimes, and yeah.
Doesn't ring a bell, to be honest.
My God, I'm surprised that did not come to Canada, because I mean that show was from like the late '60s. I remember watching it as a kid in syndication, because the show's older than I am. And at the time, I just thought it was a cartoon. I learned like way later that it was like, oh no, that's just old Japanese anime that got significant redubbing when it got brought over to the West.
I'm looking at some pictures and YouTube stuff of Speed Racer. I never seen that before.
Oh man!
Yep.
Now ignore the movie.
We didn't get
there was
that
a
here.
westernized movie that they made, but no, the original Speed Racer. In fact, they even redid the entire theme song. They used the same tune. They just changed the lyrics, which are actually pretty decent lyrics. Not like Transformers, man. I've seen the original Transformers like opening theme song and all that. Holy crap, man! Like the American Transformers theme sounds all kind of cool and sci-fi. The original Japanese Transformers has the robots flying around and this kind of like this is completely not fitting the genre.
Oh my.
Oh
So
no,
in
it's
that
bad.
case,
It's bad.
Localization
it's an
is
upgrade.
weird.
Mhm.
Localization is is a touchy thing. I've been playing the Trails of series lately. I've played Cold Steel 1 and 2 a few years ago, but now I'm playing Trails in the Sky 1 and 2. Almost finished with 1, but Scourgebringer really wrecked my my life. And localization seems to be pretty good. But I know that
localization has improved significantly over the last few decades. I mean, it's still not great, but I mean, if you watch stuff that was localized, say, like back in the 80s and 90s, it's a lot worse than what they do now.
Let's hope it continues to improve.
Yeah.
So, Gru, after that whole tangent, anything else to add about My Little Pony game?
Well, other than it was as bad as I expected. The gameplay was actually a little better than I expected, but the story and the characters, and the effort put into it was as bad as I expected. They didn't even bother to do voiceovers. The ponies, when there's dialogue on the screen, they just go, "Oh, uh-huh, oh." It's just so off-putting. Like, come on. You didn't even bother to do voices.
Well, what can we expect, right?
By the way, you did ask if we were playing anything else, and I kind of forgot. I've been playing GoldenEye 007, which
the original original N64.
Yep. Well, consider that for the longest time, people have been trying to get that game ported to whatever the modern consoles were at the time, and there was huge pushback from Nintendo. But Microsoft and Nintendo have kind of made nice recently. So Nintendo basically allowed Microsoft to publish GoldenEye 007 as part of the Rare Replay collection. If you have the digital version of the Rare Replay collection like I do, then the game is free. It effectively is a retroactive part of that digital version. If you have the disc version, I think you have to buy it separate, which is one of the few times that owning the hard copy actually screws you. But yeah, I got it for free. The only drawback on that one is that on the Xbox, you do not have online multiplayer. It's only split screen. Nintendo Switch is the only system that gets the online multiplayer with their Nintendo Online thing. However, since I've never played the original, I've only seen it 100 times in list videos, it's actually kind of refreshing to play through. And considering how old the game is and what system it came out on, it's surprisingly robust.
Oh, GoldenEye, I've played that. It was the shit when it came out. It was like the one of the best game ever made when it came out, at least. And I'm happy to see it's holding up. I have a weird hate for the first generation of 3D stuff, nowadays at least. I really think it's hard to play those early 3D N64 PS1 game. I feel it's so clunky. I guess I'm more of a 2D guy. Well, yeah, I kind of hate bad 3D, but GoldenEye I loved back in the day, even when I was not a fan of 3D. It's gameplay mechanics are really good.
My only problem with GoldenEye was that I had finally gotten used to, instead of mouse and keyboard, I'd finally gotten used to a controller, and then I tried to play GoldenEye, and the controls were effectively flipped. Your looking and moving sticks were effectively reversed. I'm like, I can't do this. This is bad.
Oh, but, and you can't change them? You can't.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, the good news is that the default controller setting for, at least for the Xbox GoldenEye, is modern FPS controls.
Oh, good.
You can change it back to the old legacy, but the default is modern FPS. And,
good.
I mean, it plays real smooth.
I had that problem recently on my time in Portia and Skyrim. Like, the crouch button and the jump button and the inventory button were, like, all scrambled up and between those two games, so I was completely and the dodge roll button. So every time I switched between the two games, like I'd be trying to jump something, instead I'd open up my inventory.
I've had that happen. That's playing games with two different control schemes that are similar but not quite the same. Yeah, I'm hip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some games I would like to play right now, but I kind of actively choose not to because I want to play Greed, which is another roguelite, and the controls are completely different from Scourgebringer, but it's another 2D side scroller game, and I feel I can't do it. It's messing with me too much. I'll have to stop playing one to play the other.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, anything else on GoldenEye?
Nah, I'm not. I'm not even. I don't think I'm even halfway done. I'm kind of chipping away at it. I'll do a mission here, a mission there.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a very good game. I'm happy to see it's holding up after all those years.
Well, actually, since I've never seen the movie, and apparently the game follows the movie at least relatively closely, I actually added the movie to my watch list the other day. So probably sometime in the next few days, I'm going to watch the original GoldenEye. I've always liked Pierce Brosnan anyway.
Yeah. Have you seen the Nintendo Direct that they did? I was so excited about that Etrian Odyssey port to the Switch.
I did not hear about this.
Are you familiar with Etrian Odyssey?
I know the name.
Yeah, it's a first-person dungeon crawler. Think wizardry, but you draw the map on the touch screen.
I've tried the wizardry style games. I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I tried Stranger of Sword City, and Jesus, what was the other one that I played? I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but like Dungeon Travelers 2 or something like that. And it's just
it's kind of etchy, right? I love this one. I wish all the monsters were not very not dressed girls, but the mechanics of this game, it's one of the best dungeon crawlers out there. It's a very good one. You just can't play it in public.
No, I just don't love the wizardry side, because like Stranger of Sword City had a really, really great opener, and it played pretty well. And I got to a point where like the entire part, there's one entire floor of like the dungeon that's just poisonous, so you're constantly being poisoned. Mm-hmm. And you run up against this boss, and it's this really like grueling boss. And I finally managed to beat the boss. I was like, thank God, I'm gonna get to a save point. And immediately after that boss, another goddamned boss shows up, and it wiped the floor with me because I was all weak. And I went, okay, I'm gonna have to grind. It's not that much fun. I'll come back to it later, and I just never went back to it.
Yeah. But yeah, Etrian Odyssey, it was on the Nintendo DS back in the day, and it was pretty cool because you could draw the map with the stylus on the bottom screen while you were exploring. And it's been years since the fan of the series are asking for a Switch port, and they're doing it. 3 games in one. The first 3 games all redone for the Switch, and I'm seriously thinking about getting a Nintendo Switch. I don't know, but I'm quite excited about this. They're even porting it to Steam, which is a rare thing for Nintendo.
Well, if you do get a Nintendo Switch, one of my underrated games today is on the Switch. So,
but yeah, well, let's go to that, because it was Brad's idea, and I was really curious about what he would come up with, and this is why I chose that subject.
Yes.
So here it is. The subject is: what is an underrated or overrated game or series of games, in your opinion? So let's go, Gru. You have something on the Switch that is underrated.
No. Brad came up with it. Let's
Okay,
hear
okay.
Brad's first.
Let's go. Let's go, Brad. I'm curious about your
Talking
pick.
overrated, and I'm either going to be controversial or absolutely uncontroversial because I don't know what everybody else's opinion is.
I can't wait.
Overrated games. Pretty much any Soulsborne game. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Sekiro, Bloodborne. Any of those like painfully difficult, gotta beat your head against the games. Yeah, man, they're just overrated. They show up on gaming lists all the time, and I think I just cannot bring myself to care. I just, honest to God, can't.
Hey, Gru, do you know how to remove somebody from the podcast? I'm looking at.
I'm sorry, man. I played the first. Everybody was like, Dark Souls is awesome, and I started playing it, and it was I quit playing it because honestly, not because it was hard, but because it just wasn't fun. I was not enjoying myself. And
Well,
I ended up trading the game in, and then I don't know. I think like within the year, Microsoft was like, "Hey, free games with gold. You get Dark Souls." I'm like, "Great, I'll download it," but I'm not playing this damn game again. It's just not any fun.
well, you'll be happy to know that Nico agrees with you. Nico tried Dark Souls and like meh. It's
I was
okay.
joking
Doesn't matter.
earlier, of course, because I don't, it's fine if you don't like Dark Souls. I loved the first one, and I think it's part of my. We were just talking about wizardry. I always felt Dark Souls was a dungeon crawler, but third-person action. It really does something for me to go explore, find the places, and win difficult fights. But after the first,
I don't shy away from difficult games. Don't get me wrong, man. I played my share of difficult games, either difficult on purpose or difficult because the control scheme or the save system was kind of shit. But at least I was still having fun. Dark Souls, I just wasn't enjoying myself. I was like, this is a chore to fire this game up and play it now.
Yeah, well, it's fine. And when we talk about overrated, I'm not. I've played the first one a lot, loved it, but I was done after that. I haven't played 2, haven't played 3, haven't played any other Souls like, and then there was that craze about everybody, and this is all right. Let's go. I'm not a fan of that. Everything now needs to be Souls-like. They're even releasing Metroidvania with a stamina meter. So it's really annoying me. Everything now has a stamina meter. Is that how you say it, right?
That sounds
I get it. Yeah,
annoying.
stamina meter.
Yeah.
Now,
this is annoying me to no
end. If you want to talk about underrated series, and some might disagree with me on this one, but I honestly feel like the One Chambara series does not get the love in the West that it should. And I mean, it is a trope-filled game. I mean, young Japanese woman wearing thigh-high boots, a bikini, a feather boa, and a cowboy hat, wielding a katana and carving up zombies.
That actually sounds fun.
Is it like those Warriors games, like Dynasty Warriors?
No, well,
it's not
quite
that.
like that.
Okay.
No, it's D3 publisher, and it started life as a budget series, part of the D3 Simple series on the PlayStation 2, and it just
there's one on
PS4.
It seems.
Well, the thing is, it got to the point. It's kind of like the Earth Defense Force, or what they call Chikuboigun.
Oh,
in Japan.
Okay.
It started life as a budget series, but just due to its longevity, it ultimately became more of a AAA series, became a full price game. Because originally, simple series games on PlayStation 2 were 2,000 yen, which was at the time roughly $20, depending on the conversion rate at the time. And compared to other PlayStation 2 games at the time were probably $40-$50. That was a really good price. And the Simple Series games were variable. Some of them were excellent. Some of them were kind of chintzy. But the One Chambara games were very straightforward. They were it was like, here's what you're doing. You're playing either this bikini-clad cowgirl Japanese chick with a sword, or you're playing her younger sister wearing basically a winter schoolgirl uniform with a much larger sword, by the way, and just hacking the crap out of zombies and other monsters. And you can just keep replaying missions on higher and higher difficulties. It was not a deep story. It was a good time. And
I'm watching a video right now, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking at the PS4 One Origin. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, see,
it
what
looks
they did was
great.
they redid the art style, because the old ones looked a little bit more realistic. Eventually, when they got to the PlayStation 3, they introduced a new pair of characters who were Dhampir, so half vampires, and but as part of the game, the original sisters were also there, and ultimately you could kind of mix and match your party. And then they came out with a sequel to that one, and then ultimately they remade the first two games as a single game, but they changed the art style to be a little bit more animated looking. And when that game came out, I waited for a price drop, but no, that's a good time. One Chambara Origin. The whole thing with it is that it's a play on words. It's a portmanteau. So One-chan means effectively like young woman. It means older sister, but it was how you would apply. It's how you refer to an old, a young woman. And Chambara is a kind of samurai movie genre. So One Chambara is a portmanteau of kind of young woman samurai style.
Huh.
That's cool.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was looking at. This is incredibly accurate as a title. It looks fantastic, honestly.
It's a good time. It's nothing but a good time. And some of the games actually have like all these different characters. Some of them have guns and extendable swords that can work kind of like chainsaws. I mean, there's a lot of games. The only one that's really a good that you can miss is the one on the Wii. The one on the Wii was kind of crap. But what I'd like to see, the one I'm kind of surprised, is there was one on the PSP that has never been ported to like the Vita or anything else. And I'm like, and the interface was kind of shit, but I'd still love to be able to play that game on a modern console.
Well, I've added it to my wish list on my PS4. It's $80 Canadian right now, so I'm not gonna buy it now, but it's on my wish list.
Well,
I really liked what I saw.
I waited till the price went down before I bought it too. I mean, I will always try an One Chambara game just because they're a good time.
Yeah, it really seems like it. Thanks for, when I saw the cover art, I was like, oh yeah, I think I've seen that before, but never paid any attention, which proves your point. It's really not something that is marketed a lot in the West or that people really pay attention to. So,
well, I mean, I know exactly why, because people will look at it and be like, oh, it's total sexualization and fetishization. And I go, okay, yeah, but take the example of, say, blaxploitation films, which took the concept of Black Americans and kind of sensualized or basically blew up kind of their blackness. Well, this one is just, hey, take some Japanese women killing zombies with traditional weapons and, make them sexy, but have a good time.
Yeah, the gameplay looked pretty solid.
Oh man, it's fun.
Guru, do you have any overrated or underrated games or series?
Well, I guess I will start with the overrated. Of course, in my list, I put the underrated first, and I have to find the overrated. Okay, overrated. I'm gonna be knocking on the Switch games here, and may get some haters with this one, but Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god.
I think that's totally
No, but it's mine. Like, it's my overrated game
Oh,
that
no
I've chosen.
way.
Yeah,
You chose it for your over.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Um.
it was
Well,
mine.
I
Well, go
also
ahead,
had.
go ahead.
Maybe we
I
could
want to
do it
see why.
together.
Yeah, okay. Let's share. Let's share our overrated game. I mean, I'm a long-term Zelda fan. I've played Zelda Link's Awakening on the original Game Boy and Link to the Past on the SNES and Ocarina of Time, and which I didn't like as much as other people do. I think it's my, when earlier I was talking about early 3D games, Nintendo 64 is definitely not my console. But I've loved Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I've played a bunch of Zelda games on Game Boy Advance too. Don't even remember the names. There was a bunch. Yeah,
Unlike you, Breath of the Wild was my first introduction to Zelda.
but
And
it's you can definitely give a chance to another Zelda game. All right, it's not the same. It's really
okay.
not.
Right, I will
Yeah,
give a
'cause
chance to another Zelda game.
keep in mind, Drew, that there are 3 distinct timelines in the Legend of Zelda universe, and each Link that you play in a game is, I mean, for the most part, is a different Link. These guys are basically the heroes that arise and fight back Ganon, Ganondorf, or whatever throughout different eras. But there are 3 different timelines where they have various degrees of success. That's one of the reasons that you can jump into a Zelda game and not have to worry about any games that came before or after it.
That's interesting because it was obvious from the gameplay from the get-go that you're being revived and that you'd fought these enemies before and that there was stuff that happened in the past, but I did not
Oh yeah, Link is
know
often referred to as the hero of time.
that that you're in a different timeline that didn't succeed in the past.
The thing is, this was never canon until Nintendo came out with like a Zelda art book, and the art book straight up told you there were 3 different timelines and explained what happened in each.
Interesting.
You know
Well,
more than me, but I'll take your word for it. It
My
makes
first-
sense from
I've
what
never
I've
played
seen.
a Zelda game. I've never played a Zelda game in my life. I'm just an avid gamer, so even if it's a series I don't play, I still kind of keep track of what's going on.
Well, my first and biggest
Anyway,
pet peeve is
interrupting. Go ahead.
no, that's fine. This is just chat. So, anyway, my first and biggest pet peeve, of course, is your weapons break every 3 hits, and that's just super, super annoying.
Yep,
And
this is my big. I don't understand why they did that.
Well, yeah, why
My
would they make
God,
that choice?
it's
so annoying.
yep, it's crazy.
And of course, the better weapons you get later in the game last a little bit longer, but not that long enough. And
I was so annoyed that I didn't even went to get the better weapon later in the game. Fuck that. It just didn't work at all.
I hung in there
Yeah.
for a little bit because I read that you get or actually it was we would a 13-year-old boy that was a friend of my kid that I was talking about. Well, he's the one who told me that later on the weapons last longer. So I hung in there for a while and I got a little bit of better weapons, and the difference in lasting, I'm just like, you know what, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just and then I gave up. The horses are cool. I love the horses.
I don't think I've seen one. I really
It didn't
didn't
last
play
that long. Oh wow.
I was really disappointed with that, and then I went and looked at some videos though. I mean, I haven't only seen the very beginning. My son played it longer than me. We have a Switch at home. When I'm talking about buying a Switch, it's because I don't want to, hijack my son's Switch for my games. But we have a Switch. and he played it for longer than me. He ended up giving up too, but I've seen a bit, and I've went and to watch some videos, and yeah, no, it's not for me. Happy for people who enjoy it, really, I do. It's fine, but yeah, I don't think it's that great of a Zelda game. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the big wide world was nice, but that's pretty much standard these days.
Yeah, and you climb a tower to get the the map around the tower. Yeah, it's kind of standard stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if they started it or what, but they didn't start the open world, by far. But
No, the climbing a tower, the climbing something high to get your local map. That's an Assassin's Creed thing right there.
Yep.
Okay,
It's
so
the
they decided to do
Ubisoft open world, where you can do all of 5 things over and over again around the world.
that.
That is the Ubisoft Montreal.
Yeah, indeed, I agree. Actually, yep, it's our fault. It's on me. I'm taking the blame for formulaic open world games.
Yeah, and then they combine your weapons breaking every 3 seconds with incredibly limited inventory for weapons. Like, why?
Why?
Why would
Yeah,
you give me
why?
5 slots?
But if you collect enough of those, basically the petrified feces, you do get extra backpack slots.
That makes sense. Not.
Yeah, I did that a little bit, but it's just why? There's just they compounded a bad choice with that.
I want my games to be fun, and I want
Yeah.
games to be fun in the first minute I'm playing them. This is what I've.
That's why I stopped playing Dark Souls.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice get back.
Yeah. Good job. To each their own fun, I guess. But yeah, it's a trend that is lately a bunch of games have like 10 hours of boring stuff before getting to the good stuff, and I kind of don't know why. Just give me the good stuff, and if it's good enough, I will replay it. You can replay it if it's good.
Okay, I've got 2 underrated.
All right,
The
go
first
ahead.
one is it's a kind of a smallish game. It's called Mythic Ocean by Paraloon Nakana.io. I'm not sure. I actually had a kind of a hard time finding who made it. You'd think that it'd be easy, but no, it wasn't. I didn't have time to. I forgot till the last second, of course, to put down the game makers, so I didn't have time to load up the game on the Switch and like look in game. So I looked on the internet, and it took me a little bit to find a game studio, but yeah, I think it's by Paraloon. So in Mythic Ocean, again, I would not pay full price. I got it on sale, and it's not a fighting game at all. You swim around an ocean and you talk to various NPCs, and you try to get them to all get along and to help them mature emotionally. And then at the end, you one of them becomes god of the new world that's being created, and you find out how things go in this new world that's created based on how well you got the various NPCs, which are all little, gods in making, to develop through their stories. And it's got some replay value because you can go back and pick different gods and take different paths. Not a huge game, but it's a really cute and really nice for mellow gameplay. Pretty world. The graphics aren't first class, but they're good enough, and it's very soothing. My type of game.
Never heard of it. I'm looking at some pictures right now. I'm gonna put footage, of course, in the while editing the podcast.
It apparently uses the Unreal Engine 4.
Huh. And my other underrated is a game that I actually like to knock on a lot, but actually there's some really good games on it, and that's Roblox. I mean, it's everybody's favorite to knock on and make fun of, but
Hey, Brad, do you know how to remove somebody from the podcast?
Hey man, I've never played Roblox. But then again, I'm not 12.
Yeah, I'm playing. Actually, I'm playing Roblox because my daughter really enjoys it, and you want to spend time with your kids. So, yeah, I like the speed drawing game. You have like 2 minutes to. There's a team like I don't know. Hououin, and you draw something related to Halloween, and when you're done, you vote on each other drawing, and somebody wins and the other don't. And after that,
Hey man,
there's another round that starts.
I'm sure I'd be playing Roblox, Minecraft, Pokemon, and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I like to spend time with my daughter playing Roblox. It's fine, but man, I really don't. But go ahead, Gru. Tell me what your arguments for it to be underrated.
Roblox? Well, there's a lot of garbage on Roblox. I mean, a lot of garbage. You have to wade through about 30 frogs before you find a prince. Sometimes it can be fun though, playing the garbage ones. But yeah, the newer games are getting pretty good.
By the way, how is it fun to play through bad games?
Because it's fun.
You laugh at them,
Yeah, to laugh at them, to be goof off, like I'm the pickle game. I can't remember the name of the pickle game.
Pickle game. I mean, that's a good name right there.
Like, oh, and Nico's gonna bop me over the head for this one that I can't remember the name of the pickle game. But yeah, you basically are running away from a giant pickle. And it's a tiny world, and there's nothing really to do in the game, but it's just so silly that the most fun part was telling people that it was your favorite game and getting them to go in there, and they're like, "What?"
Is that Jesus? Escaping Mr. Pickle?
No. I think that one's an obby.
There's probably like 1,000 pickle game on Roblox.
Yeah, they're probably 1,000. But anyways, back to the good games that are there. Like, there's a game called Islands, which is a Minecraft-like game, but it's gone in a different direction, and gone a much more mechanized direction. And for RPG, I can recommend Dragon Blade or Vestiria. Vestiria is a full-blown RPG game, complete with grind. Dragon Blade,
I'm sorry, Group. It's a full-blown role-playing game?
Yes.
Sorry.
It's a full-blown role-playing game too. And Dragon Blade, there's not much to the game, but it's very good. I like it. Pretty much the best of the RPGs I've done on Roblox. You can build in it too. for horror, Doors is really popular right now. Everybody knows Doors, and
My son made me play that. He went
Yes.
he went to 100 doors, and I thought it would be the end of the game, but seems there's more after that. But I'm don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure, but I've seen him go through the 100 doors.
they recently updated it, added more content.
Yeah, this is what
Yeah.
happened. I've played it a bit. Really not my thing, but I understand why people like this one though.
For semi-horror, I like SCP-3008. It's
What a
not
great name.
really super scary, but it's the one where you're stuck in an infinite IKEA. The IKEA obviously is not infinite, but
Yeah,
it's very big, and you have to build yourself little shelters out of the IKEA furniture to keep yourself safe from the IKEA employees at night. That's pretty much the game, but it's fun. It's a fun little game. Tycoons, one of my favorite is Laundry Simulator, where it's your basic tycoon. You just do things till you
to
get
get more things.
more things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got a little twist where you get big enough laundry machines in it, you can throw your friends in them and wash your friends.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. I know what it is.
Those filthy,
Then
filthy
there's
friends.
farming games. I like Welcome to Farmville. That's pretty good. They've put in some quests in there. I'm hoping that they haven't abandoned development because there hasn't been progress on it in a long time, which is a big problem with Roblox games, that they get abandoned a lot. But on the other hand, all of them are free to play. So, well, not all of them. There are a lot of more Roblox games that are paid access now that you have to pay to get in. I forgot about that.
Didn't know.
There's sim lifestyle games like Welcome to Bloxburg is very well done. And then there's a platforming game which actually gives me Pathless vibes. It's different, very different, but it's got kind of a same vibe, and I think you'd enjoy it, Hououin. It's called Journey to the Sun.
All right, I'll look into it. Maybe I can convince my kids to play that when they ask me to play Roblox.
Yeah, I think your son might like it too. It's pretty good. Basically it's all about jumping and finding things. And if you just want a relaxing game, there's even that on Roblox. There's a game where you just swim around the ocean and you go up to and collect fish species that you haven't added to your collection yet. I mean, you don't catch them or anything, you just identify them. And it's called Deep Blue Subnautical Adventure. And that's all you do. You just swim around the ocean and identify fish. And it's funner than it sounds, and it's very relaxing, and it's nice.
All right. Seems you're playing quite a bit of Roblox.
Well, this is all over the years.
Yeah. I get that it's not in the past week, but
Yeah, I actually haven't played any Roblox in the past week. So
all right. So, well, my overrated game was Breath of the Wild. So we covered that already. My underrated, I don't know, probably Brad will have some input on this, but I'm a huge Tales of games fan. I always preferred those games to Final Fantasy, and I'm not saying that the Tales of series is underrated because it's beloved by many people. But every time I see people talk about that, they always, well, not always, but oftentimes, Tales of Legendia is at the bottom of the barrel, and this is my favorite one. Seems it was made by like the B team of the dev team of the Tales of games. Seems it's not made by the main team, but I really enjoyed the side scroller combat, and the post story was so good. You had the main game, which was your standard Tales of game where you start trying to find a cat and you end up killing God at the end, standard. I mean, it's not that, but you know what I mean. But the post story was so good. It was divided in chapters, and each chapter was about one particular characters, and I loved all the characters in that game. It's my favorite Tales of games, and it's always bumming me out to see it knocked out at the bottom of the list. Pretty much every list I see. So
Oh,
I don't know if Brad knows something about this, or being maybe in Japan, knowing about games.
I think I tried. I think I tried playing. What was the one that came out on the 360? Was that Vesperia?
Yeah, it was Vesperia. This is always very highly regarded as one of the best. I've played it. I loved it.
Yeah,
but it didn't grab me as much.
Playing it. I tried playing it and I didn't love it. I mean, just straight up, I just did not. I did not love Tales of Vesperia, and that it kind of goes back to how I play RPGs. If the RPG doesn't interest me before I start playing it, I'm probably not going to like it. And I think I bought it because it was real cheap, and I tried it out, and I played through a little bit and decided that it just wasn't for me. However,
yeah, go ahead.
I do have a limited edition Tales. I can't remember which Tales of what. I can't remember which one. I think it's I want to say it's a PlayStation 3 or 4. I can't remember which one now. It had like a cool patterning on it and all that, and I got it for a song at my local book off. It's back in the U.S. in storage. Actually, I can look up to see what it's
might
from.
Be Xillia, Xillia.
Yeah, it'll be in my pages here. Give me a second, and I can find it. I mean, go ahead and talk. I can jump back in when I find it.
Oh yeah, well, it was pretty much that.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, Tales of Xillia limited edition Japanese console. So it's a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I like Xillia 1 and 2. I've played both of them, like them. But yeah, my favorite is Legendia, and seems I'm pretty much one of the only ones in the world. Yeah. People really didn't dig that game that much, and I did. So this was my underrated game. I wish they would. I don't have it anymore. It was on PlayStation 2, and I don't have a PS2 anymore. So I wish they would, port it on modern consoles, so I could play again. Maybe I would be disappointed, though.
What? You shouldn't have gotten rid of it. You should have hung on to. You shouldn't have gotten rid of your PS2 and your Tales of Legendia. You should have hung on to it.
Yeah, and I got rid of my Nintendo DS and of my PSP Go, and I went into a phase many years ago where I wanted to have at least stuff as possible. So I was always selling everything I didn't use. And, I have some regrets. Let's keep it at that. I wish I still had my Nintendo DS with all my games. So, and my PS2 with my Tales of Legendia. But anyway, it's...
I don't get rid of systems anymore. I just don't. Because, again, on my gaming blog, I have an entire post. My systems are not for sale is what it's called. But yeah, I mean, there comes a point at which the trade or sale value of an old system is just so pathetically low that it's just not worth getting rid of it.
Yeah,
I don't know how it is. I don't know how it is in the U.S. or Canada, but right now in Japan, retro game systems, and I think the pandemic has had something to do with this, but retro game systems have ballooned in price. They have at least doubled in price.
Oh yeah, it's quite
Nintendo
expensive here too.
Nintendo 64s, GameCubes, Saturns, all of that stuff. Old, PlayStation 2s. And things like DS Lites, Game Boy Advance SPs. the prices have gotten absolutely outrageous. They're way more expensive than they used to be, and it's it's going to be a long time. If they ever go back down, it's going to be years, because the prices have just ballooned.
Yep. Here too. I can confirm in Canada it's pretty expensive. I'm looking right now at my local video game store, and the Wii U is $200.
Yeah, that's insane for a system that did not sell particularly well.
Yep.
That's just too much goddamn money. See, now that said, back in the States and even here, I've got a drawer, which I need to take some of that stuff back this year. I've got a drawer full of just like retro consoles that I have just basically bought as a collector, just to store.
Yeah, the thing is, and back in the day, I was living in apartment, not that large, and I was getting rid of my stuff because of the storage place they took. I didn't have room to keep them without being encumbered. I was getting rid of a lot of stuff.
Oh man, I don't think you understand just how freakishly small my apartment is.
Yeah, living in Japan, it's probably very small indeed.
It's not just Japan, man. It's Tokyo, and this place is pathetically small. I love the neighborhood. I just don't like the apartment. But I bought a couple of kind of plastic chested drawers, and yeah, one of them is just I've got a drawer that's just nothing but like retro consoles. I actually kind of meant to take them back last summer when I went back to America and kind of forgot. So I'll be doing that this year.
Oh, sorry. I still I'm kind of sick a bit.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's getting better. Everybody here is better. We got incredibly sick in the past 2 weeks, like many type of illness back to back, and now it's kind of under control. Just some remnant coughs and stuff, but I feel fine.
So a lingering cough, you say?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, man. I mean, I'm still in English teacher mode, so.
Oh yeah, but I love learning words. For example, man, this. I'm sorry, it's probably very late for you, but we're almost done. But I always thought, to talk about something away from you for quite a distance, we say further. But lately, I'm hearing a lot of farther. Which one is it? FA or FU?
It kind of depends on the context. It's because sometimes farther is correct and sometimes further is correct. I mean, farther is the comparative adjective form of far, farther, the farthest. Further can be kind of like farther, but it can also work as a transitive verb to further your goals or to further your aims or something like that.
Oh,
and
right.
The problem is no one ever taught that stuff to me. I'm a native speaker, so growing up hearing English all around me, I just kind of picked it up from context. And so if somebody's like, which one would I use? I have to actually think about the context and go, let me think about that.
All right. So from what I understand, most of the time I said further, I should have said farther. Because I don't usually further my goals.
That's probably the case. But there are times where further is either also correct or is the correct way to do it.
All right. But in doubts, I should use farther. It's probably more often the case the right one.
Yeah, when in doubt, just stick with farther, and then it's probably fine.
All right. Thanks for this English class.
Hey man, seriously, it's what I do. It's what I do 4 days a week. So.
Oh,
it's hard
okay. That's your job.
I've told people that, like, in the past, I've said, because I used to correct my friends' grammar. I don't know, Drew, if I ever corrected yours, but you may or may not have heard me do it. But I've said I used to be really bad, but now that this is what I do for a living, I am insufferable.
Your ears must be bleeding to hear me talk for an hour, man.
My grammar is
that's probably rough for you, man.
Pretty good. So
I accept it. I got to bite my tongue, but I accept it. I'm sorry, what was that?
I said my grammar is usually pretty good, so I don't remember you correcting me. It's possible.
Yeah, well, no, that's the thing. Is if you didn't make any major mistakes, then I would have had any reason to say anything.
All right.
Oh, I looked it up, and yes, our favorite bad game on Roblox is Survival the Pickle, Rick the Killer.
Okay. If anyone wants to check
Yes,
that.
I mean that name. We were like, "Oh, this is going to be terrible, absolutely terrible," and we have to
That
play
is either
this.
an amazing name or an awful name. I can't decide which.
It's both. It's an amazingly awful name, and it's an amazingly awful game too. And I don't know what's so much fun about it, but maybe it's because we went into it going, "Okay, this is going to be amazingly awful," and just went ham. But yeah, there's pretty much nothing to do in it. So
All
there's
right.
that. Also, I wanted to clarify something, since Brad and I got into a bit of disagreement earlier, that just for people who don't know, that Brad and I have been friends for like 20 plus years, and so we are very, very comfortable with disagreeing with each other and debating things, and so yeah, it's completely friendly debate. And
it's all right to precise that, but I don't think anybody here was really offended by anybody else.
No,
I haven't felt any ill will between ourselves.
we actually enjoy debating each other sometimes.
She and I have a colorful history, so.
So we've been going on. It's gonna be definitely our longest podcast ever. So let's put an end to this with the question of the week, because we're a gaming podcast, but we need to tackle some important society question, which we did in the beginning of this episode. But for this week, the stupid question is: when you eat a gummy bear, do you eat the head or the feet first?
See, this is I think this is kind of a ridiculous question. This implies that I'm eating the gummy bear in more than one bite.
Thank you. This was exactly my thought when I see it. Yeah, and I was wondering if you. It's so small.
If I'm only eating one gummy bear at a time, then there's probably a very specific reason. Otherwise, I'm grabbing 2 or 3 and just popping them in my mouth and just chewing those little bastards up. I'm not, good Lord.
Yeah. When I was looking at the question for this week, when I stumbled upon this one, it made me think, wait, what? People are not putting the entire thing at once. It's crazy. And I was wondering what you would say if I was the crazy one to eat it in one go. But it's so small. I don't, you don't bite a gummy bear. You just eat it.
That, if you
I was just
eat
curious.
it in parts, I have tried eating them with one little paw, then the other little paw, then one foot, the other foot, and the head. Your fingers get really sticky.
Okay. Let's back up just a little bit. You're eating the limbs a little bit at a time.
That's not the normal way I eat them.
No, that is fucked up. You should seek help.
All right.
We already knew that.
All
right. Well, this is the end.
No, we're not done. We're not done yet. I am plugging my goddamn YouTube channel.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, my YouTube channel, which is mostly limited time, seasonal, or limited quantity food reviews in Japan, but occasionally I do some slice of life, walking around videos. It is youtube.com/@the1man in Japan, and that's just straight up the one man in Japan, and that's me. If you're not sure, if you forget that, look for the hashtag Brad Eats Stuff. That's what I do.
And if you don't know how to type stuff on a keyboard, just click on the link that will be in the description of this video.
You're a principal man. You're a principal man, William.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really enjoy you taking time to come talk games with us, and I appreciate Gru taking time to come talk games with me all the time. But yeah, I'm of course gonna put link to all of your stuff in the description of the video, because this is great stuff. You know what I would like to see more. I remember this talk you made about the Japanese and their relationship with alcohol. Like how people, it was totally fine to drink on the street, and it was super interesting. I really like when you talk about, you know, that type of stuff, cultural, and you know, I don't have all the words, but
you're in luck, my friend, because I actually am working on a video right now, putting together some information that talks about police, the public photography, and the First Amendment in Japan, and how they're different from back in the U.S.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, this is gonna interest me a lot. I'm gonna definitely watch that one. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I was gonna do it walking. I was gonna do it walking like the last one, and I realized there's just so much material for me to do. So I'm probably just gonna set the camera up somewhere, sit down. I may do it outside. Just sit down outside.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to be walking around all the time. It's fine.
I think in this case, I'm kind of need to follow an outline. I'm gonna have to do a little prep work to outline this. I'm not gonna do it off the top of my head because there's a lot to cover when this particular thing. I actually have some articles about the Japanese Constitution, public photography, the First Amendment. I'll give you a teaser. While public photography in Japan is much like in America, as long as you're in a public space, you can take pictures of or record anything you like. Unlike in America, if you post people's likeness somewhere and they find it, they can sue you civilly in court for breach of privacy. And in America,
in Canada too. Here too, you cannot just film somebody on the street without their consent and put that on.
In America, you can. It's if you post it somewhere online and they find it, then they can sue you civilly. But if you just want to take pictures or video for your own purposes in Japan, yeah, anything you can see from public, you can record. In America, there is no expectation of privacy in public. So if you take a picture of somebody in public and post it online, there's really nothing they can do.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, this is very interesting stuff. I like learning about those things.
I also, by the way, you asked me to do a video about why I came to Japan. That one is another one that is in the works. I have the thumbnail for it. I just need to record the damn thing.
Yeah, I'm curious. Well, with now that I know that you're teaching English, pieces are coming together slowly.
Yeah, but that's not why I came to Japan.
Yeah, I try to not pry too much on people's personal lives.
Oh no. It's not that. I just don't want to turn your podcast into the Brad show. So no, I got a video coming up. And I'm gonna credit you in it. So.
Oh, that's kind of you. Looking forward to see that.
You're the one that asked, man. You're the one that gave me the idea. Like I said, I just need to put down and record it someday.
All right. Anything else? Any of you?
Nope.
This is the last call. I'm gonna call it a show here.
All right.
I'm good.
So
I'm good.
Thanks to both of you to have come talk games with me, and I hope people watching it have enjoyed the discussion. Yeah, check the description of the video. Pro tip: you should do that on every video I post or every video you watch on YouTube. People don't look at descriptions anymore. They should. There's a bunch of links and stuff in those descriptions.
I go through when I want to follow a link or something.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope we'll see you in the next time. So this is it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.